The Golden Globes are supposed to be about trophies, couture, and carefully rehearsed smiles. But this year, the real headline wasn't on the stage. It was a silent, icy standoff unfolding between Teyana Taylor and Pierre. For months, the public believed Teyana had gracefully walked away from the relationship. That story, according to fresh whispers from inside the industry, it may have been a carefully protected illusion, because behind closed doors, insiders now claim it was Pierre who ended things. And not gently. After allegedly benefiting from Teyana's influence, her introductions, and the kind of industry access most actors wait years for, Aaron reportedly severed the relationship just as his career hit liftoff. The timing left Teyana blindsided. Cut loose at the very moment his leading man image was finally solidified. But if Aaron assumed she would disappear quietly, nursing heartbreak in private, he made a critical miscalculation. Because on Hollywood's most photographed night, under the glare of global cameras and surrounded by the most powerful people in entertainment, Teyana Taylor didn't retreat. She executed something far more strategic. This wasn't just fashion. It wasn't just a red carpet appearance. What unfolded looked, to those watching closely, like a deliberate act of public psychological chess. One that left Pierre visibly shaken in front of the world. Tonight, we're dissecting the evening the sweet love story narrative curdled into something far darker. From the second Aaron tried to act like she wasn't even there, to the calculated moment Teyana made a move that hijacked the spotlight and sent quiet shockwaves through the A-list crowd. We've got the full breakdown. Celebrity breakups are common, but revenge played this controlled, this cold, that's rare. Welcome to what really happened at the Golden Globes. In the high-stakes ecosystem of Hollywood, loyalty is often the first casualty of ambition. For months, fans were sold a modern fairy tale. Teyana Taylor, the multi-talented R&B force and creative visionary, seemed perfectly matched with rising British actor Pierre. They were branded the power duo of 2025, Harlem Edge meeting London polish. But behind the curated photos and affectionate captions, sources say a quiet power struggle was already taking shape. Publicly, many believed Teyana, known for her boss energy and fearless personality, was the one steering the relationship. Then came the rumors that flipped everything. Industry chatter began suggesting the truth was far less flattering for Aaron. The man Teyana reportedly supported, vouched for in key rooms, and helped elevate behind the scenes, was allegedly the one who pulled away once his seat at the table felt secure. And it wasn't described as emotional. It was described as strategic, a separation that felt less like heartbreak and more like a business decision. As Pierre's profile rose, boosted in part by the visibility that came with being beside Teyana Taylor, his inner circle reportedly started to shift. New advisors, new priorities, new image calculations. According to sources, his team became laser-focused on shaping him into a polished, franchise-ready leading man for major studio and blockbuster opportunities, reportedly worrying that certain personal associations could complicate that trajectory. Sources say Teyana Taylor quickly became labeled a brand risk in Pierre's rising orbit. His advisors supposedly insisted he present himself as a polished, enigmatic, and critically unattached British heartthrob, the image of a man untethered. Whispers circulated that Teyana's outspoken nature and history of public drama clashed with the elite persona they were crafting. And Aaron, intoxicated by the sudden glow of Hollywood's upper echelon, reportedly bought into every word. Then, just weeks before the Golden Globes, the night meant to crown his year, he ended it. Not with conversation, not with nuance. A cold, 10-minute phone call allegedly delivered the verdict. Their lives were diverging, and Aaron had to focus on his career. The sting was brutal. Teyana Taylor had been the architect of doors that rarely open. She had given him access, family, influence, and her trust. To be told she was now in the way was a public and private humiliation. But Aaron made a fatal miscalculation. He assumed Teyana would absorb the rejection like a typical Hollywood ex-quiet tears, fleeting social media posts, and letting him bask in the spotlight. That was the expectation. He forgot one rule. Teyana Taylor doesn't do quiet. She doesn't fade. She mobilizes. She strategizes. Instead of heartbreak, she pivoted into war mode. Her inner circle, her aunt's trusted team, creative directors, stylists, and top-tier industry insiders, became her command unit. If he wanted a professional split, she was prepared to give him a masterclass in public relations warfare. And the Golden Globes became the battlefield. Every eye would be on Aaron Pierre, every camera poised. His team had prepared his grand solo debut. Fashion spreads, glowing interviews, curated image. Teyana's goal was razor sharp. Ensure the narrative, the headlines, the world's attention, all focus on her. For 2 full weeks, she moved in silence. No leaks, no hints. Aaron was led to believe he'd gotten away clean. Her team followed strict orders: remain invisible, cultivate calm. Meanwhile, while Aaron endured fittings for a custom tuxedo, Teyana Taylor retreated into the vault of their shared history, gathering the records, the receipts, the untold truths she now held. Her strategy wasn't mere elegance. It was psychological precision. She knew his insecurities, his obsession with reputation, the London secrets he had buried. Those very secrets now formed the leverage she wielded. With a top designer, she began crafting a gown not for admiration, but for impact, a look so audacious, so shockingly daring for the Globes, that photographers would be forced to abandon their other assignments just to capture her entrance. But the gown was only the lure. The true unthinkable weapon was the guest she chose to arrive with. A mystery date. Teyana understood the cruelest form of power play. Drag a man's hidden past into the spotlight he thought he'd mastered. Sources claim that Teyana Taylor went to extraordinary lengths, tracking down a shadow from Aaron Pierre's London past, someone unknown to the public, but intimately aware of the man he had been before Hollywood polished him into a star. By bringing this figure as her date, Teyana wasn't simply appearing on the red carpet. She was arriving with a living, breathing proof, a silent expose that could unravel the carefully constructed image Aaron had spent a year cultivating. As the day of the Golden Globes dawned, tension crackled through Teyana's camp like electricity. They knew what they were about to unleash could eclipse any headline from a night. Aaron Pierre walked toward the red carpet, convinced he was the center of the universe, ready to bask in his solo glory. He had no inkling that the Queen of Harlem was about to orchestrate a checkmate before millions of eyes. The calm before the storm hung heavy in the air, while Aaron delivered his pre-carpet interviews. Smiling and playing the humble rising star, Teyana Taylor remained just a block away in her limo. Watching a live feed on her phone, a cold, controlled smile flickered across her face as she observed Aaron extolling his blessings, fully confident that he had succeeded in leaving her behind. He looked poised, untouchable, a man who believed the past had been neatly discarded. Then, in a moment of quiet precision, Teyana turned to her mystery guest, adjusted the final details of her jaw-dropping ensemble, and whispered to the driver, "Let's move." The countdown had begun. The era of the apple pie romance was officially over, and the Golden Queen's revenge was about to unfold. The exact moment she stepped onto the carpet would be remembered for years. The act was unprecedented. A whisper, barely audible, yet enough to unseat Aaron's composure, a gesture that transformed the press room into a frenzy. In that instant, the Golden Globe ceased to be just an award show. It became her courtroom, her stage, her victory. The 83rd Golden Globe Awards were meant to crown Aaron Pierre. After months of meticulous PR crafting, he arrived at the Beverly Hilton on January 11th, 2026, the image of an untouchable, focused, and solitary star. He walked the carpet alone, projecting the disciplined, rising elite persona his team had engineered. But as Aaron played the polished gentleman, Teyana Taylor prepared to rewrite every expectation of the night. As he moved down the press line, questions carefully filtered, his split with Teyana portrayed as amicable, Aaron radiated control and calm. Every detail had been orchestrated to maintain his narrative. Every inquiry about her carefully shut down. He seemed untethered, as if the woman who had guided and elevated him over the past year was now just a ghost in his rear view. And then the unthinkable. At the precise moment the carpet reached its peak chaos, Teyana Taylor's limo pulled up. Hollywood differentiates between a mere look and a moment that changes everything. She didn't just arrive. She reset the room. She stepped out in a custom Schiaparelli gown so daring, so audacious, so utterly unthinkable for a night like this that photographers abandoned their A-list assignments just to capture her. The gown itself was a spectacle engineered to dominate. An audacious open back, a dairy encrusted entirely in diamonds, a cascade of brilliance that sent the photographers into chaos. Cameras swiveled mid-shot, abandoning other stars, all lenses snapping furiously toward the Harlem Queen. But it wasn't only the diamonds or the striking jet-black pixie cut commanding attention. It was the aura she carried. Teyana Taylor didn't glide down the carpet like a nominee. She moved like a warrior returning from conquest, confident, untouchable, untethered. The true moment of confrontation unfolded at the carpet center, where Pierre was mid-interview with a top entertainment network. In a move that froze PR teams in place, Teyana didn't sidestep, didn't pause. She stepped into the frame, a quiet storm. Witnesses later described the moment. The air seemed to vanish from Aaron's lungs. The leading man persona clashed violently with the reality of the woman he had reportedly discarded. There was no shouting, no drama. Instead, Teyana leaned in, whispering something that sent Aaron stumbling over his carefully rehearsed words. For millions watching live, it was a tension so sharp it left him frozen, collectively gasping. And yet, she wasn't finished. She turned fully toward the cameras. Aaron ignored and revealed her mystery guest on her arm, the one person his team had spent millions keeping out of sight from the American press. The act alone neutralized his power in seconds. The golden win had been claimed. What unfolded on the red carpet was only the overture. Inside the ballroom, the tension reached its peak. Teyana Taylor was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Perfidia Beverly Hills. When her name rang out as a winner, the room erupted in applause. But her stage moment wasn't a speech. It was a declaration, a manifesto. Pierre wasn't mentioned, yet every sentence cut like a scalpel, a direct rebuttal to those who ever questioned her presence, her strength, her worth. To my brown sisters and little brown girls watching tonight, she intoned, her voice filling the Hilton.
Do you know Letterboxd?
Our softness is not
I'm about
a
to know what's up.
Okay, Letterboxd is this
Medicine for Melancholy,
directed
directed by Barry
Our
Jenkins.
voices matter. Our dreams deserve space.
American
It was a
Gangster.
masterclass in psychological
I love that.
Meanwhile, Pierre sat, increasingly isolated, as Hollywood's elite moved to celebrate Teyana. The power shift was undeniable. He had attempted to discard her for image. In doing so, he lost the very magnetism he had once relied on. By the time journalists flooded the press room, the whisper, the diamonds, the mystery guest, all were the story, not the awards, not the ceremony. Teyana Taylor had hijacked the night, transforming Pierre's triumph into her own showcase of resilience and command. Hollywood proved yet again, staying quiet doesn't win. Being inarguably, unapologetically yourself does. Pierre came for a trophy. Teyana Taylor came for the throne. And by the end of the evening, no one doubted who had claimed it. The social media frenzy, the dissection of her diamond-studded gown, the whisper meaning behind her words. It all cemented one fact. Teyana Taylor had rewritten the rules. The hidden power of Teyana Taylor's speech wasn't just the words. It was a message that reverberated through every corner of Hollywood. While Pierre ducked from one exclusive after-party to the next, the true climax of Teyana's night had already unfolded. Her audacious, unfiltered victory lap. As the 83rd Golden Globe Awards at the Beverly Hilton drew to a close on January 11th, 2026, the energy in the room had shifted irreversibly. Forget Best Picture. Forget Nikki Glazer's hosting antics. The story of the night was a complete, unchallenged dominance of Teyana Taylor. She entered that ballroom as a woman reportedly discarded by a rising star, and she left a heavyweight champion of Hollywood hierarchy. While Pierre fumbled through the social minefield of the governor's ball, Teyana was already executing the second phase of her unthinkable strategy, the ultimate after-party move, a defiance so audacious it broke the unspoken rules of the industry. In Hollywood, after-parties are where reputations are made, unmade, and power silently shifts, and Teyana was rewriting the rules. A first-time Golden Globe winner might have dutifully followed the expected path, hitting the Warner Brothers soiree, the Netflix bash, and posing under the Vanity Fair cameras. But Teyana Taylor didn't do the expected. Meanwhile, Pierre's team had spent weeks securing his placement at the most elite tables, crafting a narrative of him as a singular, untouchable rising king of the A-list. But Teyana wasn't there to fit into someone else's story. The Teyana effect was inescapable. Everywhere Erin turned, conversations followed her. Whispers of her viral speech, her empowering message to brown girls, her diamond-encrusted gown that had turned the carpet into a spectacle. Sources said the pressure became unbearable, and Erin quietly slipped out well before the night reached its midpoint. He didn't want to remain the shadow of the past, while Teyana Taylor dominated the room. By trying to discard her to protect his image, he had effectively excised himself from the real winner circle. And then came the unthinkable, the move that would define the night forever. Skipping the star-studded after-parties, still draped in custom couture diamonds and impeccable double-winged liner, Teyana Taylor made her way straight to Raising Cane's on Sunset and Highland. Within an hour, the images flooding the internet became meme legend. Teyana, holding her first Golden Globe in one hand, a box combo in the other, grinning at cameras without an ounce of self-consciousness. She posed on the counter, laughing with staff and fans who couldn't believe they were witnessing a global star ordering extra cane sauce. It was more than a midnight snack. It was a statement, a direct message to the world, and to Erin, I can claim the highest honors in this industry and still remain the girl from Harlem who craves chicken fingers at midnight. I will not dilute my voice, my personality, or my tastes to fit your prestige. I am the prestige. By Monday, the Hollywood hierarchy had already shifted. Teyana's win for Perfidia Beverly Hills cemented her as a major dramatic force and a frontrunner for the Oscars. Meanwhile, Erin Pierre contended with the fallout of that whispered secret, the carpet confrontation, and the seismic cultural moment she had created. The exact words she whispered may remain unknown, but their impact was indisputable. The mystery guest she brought had stripped Erin of narrative control. In an instant, rumor had become reality. Teyana Taylor proved she could expose the truth without uttering a single word to the press. Her presence alone was a weapon. Psychologically, it was a total vindication. For years, through her marriage to Amon Shumpert and her high-profile association with Erin, Teyana had often been the supportive partner elevating men's careers. That night, she broke the cycle. She didn't need to fix Erin or save his reputation. She simply let him walk away and watch her own star rise higher than his ever could. Backstage, she shared a tender moment with her daughters, Junie and Rue, telling the press that her 10-year-old had been her true date. Her tribe, not a man who saw her as a liability, grounded her. And so the story of Apple Pie concluded. As the 2026 award season unfolded, Teyana Taylor became the name on every tongue. Multiple projects lined her path. Her creative agency, the Antis, thrived. She had proven herself the architect of her own destiny. In a recent interview, when asked about her nickname for Erin, Apple Pie, her answer was simple, cold, and unforgettable. Her answer was razor-sharp, concise, and absolute. I'm on a new diet now. I'm focused on the main course. Meanwhile, Erin Pierre faces a daunting task of reconstructing the mystique he shattered that night. The unthinkable spectacle of the Golden Globes wasn't just entertainment. It was a warning shot to every rising star in Hollywood. Never exploit a woman's influence only to discard her when you reach the top, because a reckoning always arrives, and Teyana Taylor delivers it in diamonds. The saga ends here, but the legend of the night lives on. The 2026 Golden Globes will be remembered not merely for awards or couture, but for Teyana Taylor's triumphant reclamation of power. She transformed cold rejection into global conquest. She didn't just lift a trophy. She seized back her narrative. She proved that anyone who tries to dim a woman's brilliance to protect their own image will ultimately find themselves swallowed by darkness. Teyana Taylor is no longer just a ride-or-die partner. She is a Golden Globe-winning icon, fully aware of her worth. And this is only the beginning. She told the world, loud and clear, if you don't give me a seat at the table, I'll buy my own table and I'll order chicken fingers with it. A night for the ages. But now we ask, was Teyana's Raising Cane's victory lap the ultimate power move, or was it the whispered words on the red carpet that truly destroyed Erin Pierre? Can he ever recover from being outshined on what should have been his night? Or has Teyana Taylor already ended his leading man era before it even began? Comment below. Are you Team Teyana? Or do you think Erin was just doing what was necessary for his career? If you're here for black excellence, high fashion drama, and undeniable receipts, you know what to do. Like the video to celebrate Teyana's monumental win. Share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you never miss her next unthinkable move.